Woman jailed for registering marriage without consent. A 32-year-old fine assistant stole her ex-boyfriend's identity card and got a friend to impersonate him in front of a solemnizer.
Wow.
It's one of those stories which you just see and it ticks all the boxes. It's got crazy, it's got unbelievable.
I don't even know what to say to this. It's like, how would I put it? Oh, he's my husband. He just doesn't know it yet.
Oh, let's go. When her boyfriend left her after becoming suspicious the son they shared was not biologically his, a woman devised a plan to get her lover back.
It's only been the first sentence.
It gets better. Oh my god. For those of you who are watching, this is taking place in Singapore. Like, normally you would read this kind of thing and think, oh, this would be somewhere in the crazy part of the States. But no, this is in our tiny little island nation of Singapore. The 32-year-old finance assistant stole her ex-boyfriend's national registration identity card. Oh my god, that's mouthful, NRIC. And enlisted the help of her friend Matthew Yeo Chia Long. Can you say that better than me?
Long? I actually don't know.
Yeah, neither of us are Chinese, so this is just going to be an exercise in disaster. To impersonate him, and then she registered their marriage.
How could he... Did he even look at the IC?
I feel like they didn't. I honestly feel like... But, I mean, background, I'm already married. And I got married using the RON, Registry of Marriage, here in Singapore. And they go over your details with a fine-tooth comb when you're getting married. They scrupulously check, how much you're earning, were you married beforehand, all this kind of thing. And they ask you always, are you here for consent? And they really look at your NRIC. So I am truly amazed that she managed to pull this off. Like, unless a friend is...
Unless they look exactly like each other.
Yeah, unless they're, a dead ringer for one another. I am truly amazed. I, could go on to say, all Chinese men look the same, but...
Excuse me. All white guys look the same, so...
Exactly, it's a point of perspective. The article goes on for quite a while.
Woman's boyfriend grew suspicious that her son was not his biological son, and they broke up. What?
Despite her insistence that the child was his, the court heard. Deputy Public Prosecutor Chu Xin-ying, that's X-I-N, told the court it was then that the woman decided she wanted to marry her boyfriend, as she ordered him to return to her and not marry anyone else. Crazy eyes.
True love.
I suppose this is the, true love, I suppose.
True love, a little on the crazy side.
A little bit? Yeah, marriage is one of those weird things. I saw something a while ago, actually, that Americans, on average, spend $50,000 for a wedding.
Why?
Because you have to have a big function hall, you have plenty of guests, you have to get a photographer, because photographers don't come cheap. Well, they do if you don't want to have nice pictures. We could go into that if we want to. But in the UK, apparently the average price is 20,000.
That's like 40,000 Singapore dollars.
Yeah, a bit less now that the pound's sunk.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other discussion which I do not have the mental capacity to go into right now. That actually reminds me of another subreddit I saw a while ago saying when did at any point during the wedding you realize that there was an expiry date?
Yeah, I saw that, the Ask Reddit thing.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I actually contributed to that subreddit.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you say?
There was this one wedding I went to when I was 18. I'm not going to say names, obviously, but no one would know. Who cares? It was for an old babysitter of mine. Mm-hmm. He was getting married. And I'd met the girlfriend before, and they seemed to be happy at the time. But then, at the wedding, she pulled the most sour face anyone could see. Like, she looked fundamentally like this. Never cracked a single smile throughout this thing. The groom was having a time of his life, he was partying, he was getting drunk, he was so happy. But she was just like... And then, she spent most of the evening hanging out with the best man. Like, I walked past them sharing a cigarette, talking to each other. This was in Hungary, so I didn't hear what they were saying, but that was happening. And then I found out 6 months later, she was pregnant. with best man's baby, kicked
Oh my
the groom
God.
out the house, took everything, including the shitty car.
Wait, how can she kick him out? He should be kicking her out.
I don't know, but because he's a fairly sweet man, and I guess he got duped into signing over all of his stuff.
God.
So, yeah, he lost everything.
Dude.
And then, this is the best part, she tried to add me on Facebook a few years later.
Good friends, huh?
Yeah, I blocked her because, fuck her.
Yo, that's like the biggest dick move to do.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fun wedding, though. Well, most part. There was some other family politics going on, but it's not my place to talk about it. I just wanted to tell that story because of the subreddit. But yeah, a lot of stories seem to boil down to the fact that people were regretting the wedding going on because there seems to be a lot of money involved.
So, like, I don't know, how would you do your wedding?
How would I do my wedding? You mean my actual
Yeah, the ceremony.
thing? Well, I'd try to keep it small. But there are not that many people I like enough to, spend money on.
Yeah.
So obviously there'd be family and relatives that you have to invite, point of principle. But I guess not more than 100 guests.
100?
Probably be mostly my wife's side.
100's a lot, my god.
Yeah, that's what happens when you marry into an Indian family.
This is why you should really think of my live streaming idea.
Yeah. This is something which popped up on my Facebook feed, thanks to you, suggesting live streaming. So, kind of like Periscope. You just Periscope your wedding.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I think I posted it on Reddit too, and like quite a few people were just like, "Oh man, but now you have to buy tablets for everyone to watch the live stream."
Oh, piss off! You can live.
They can use their own laptops. Just live stream the wedding. Keep the nice decoration. Keep everything nice and fancy. Just don't have people there.
Yeah, and if you want to get drunk, you buy your own alcohol rather than scrounging off the free bar. You freeloaders.
Oh, actually, there was like one of my acquaintances commented on my Facebook post, and he was just like, "But what if it streams in 240p? That's the best part. If your wife is ugly."
No one needs to know.
No one needs to know. Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
No offense to any like ugly wives out there. All women are beautiful.
And to all men out there married to ugly men, I'm sure she has fantastic personality.
Great personality.
Oh, we're terrible people.
I know.
But yeah, it's just, I've never understood spending massive amounts of money on a wedding. I mean, it looks nice, but it's a one-off thing. And so much can go wrong. I've seen people get upset about tiny little things. It's just, at the end of the day, it's about two people wanting to be together for the rest of their life. Celebrating on an arbitrary piece of paper.
No, because like I think people just put such a huge expectation
Yeah.
on the wedding. Like they think of it as like the big start, the huge sprint to the rest of their lives. I don't know, like shouldn't relationships, like even the marriage, just be part of a giant marathon where you just run really slowly? So I don't really see the point of a huge, fantastic wedding.
I mean, sometimes it's nice because it is a celebration and you want to celebrate it. And I have heard some people say that the wedding is not for the couple, it's for the family. It's, they're the incidental catalyst for this massive getting together of two families.
Oh yeah.
Which I can see, but I don't agree with because, quite honestly, you didn't have anything to do with it apart from maybe the parents because you created the person.
Oh yeah.
But apart from that, hopefully it's because they met each other and liked each other. And so they want to include you. It's great, but it's not about you, I would argue, but some people disagree. And that's fine, Just so long as you do it for the right reasons and you're not financially irresponsible in how you celebrate your weddings.
And you have to make sure your husband knows that you guys are getting married.
Oh yeah, that too. Please make sure both people know what's going on when you get into the marriage.
Like, just drop a little text like, "Lol, we're getting married. Bye-bye."
Or, not do what this crazy woman did,
Like,
which
at
is...
least a Snapchat, with him going "I do" live. At least that.
Well, she sent him a photograph of the certificate of marriage bearing their names.
Well, at least that was a bit considerate.
But, photograph, at least there's a little bit of legitimacy behind it. It's not like, just a Snapchat. Like, lol, look what just
Lol,
happened.
married.
Yeah, like the sticky out face.
No, like just an Instagram selfie going, married. Like she bought her own ring and everything.
What, made out of paper mache?
Yeah. No, it's like those little key
Oh,
rings.
those
key
Haribo rings.
Yeah, and it's just like.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere about someone who proposed with a Haribo jelly ring.
Well, I mean, in the olden days, diamonds weren't a thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a whole other thing, which I would love to talk about, but we need to have material for the next thing. So, I think sticking to the topic of crazy women, something else happened. It's been a big thing in Singapore, is to set up for those who are not Singaporean, we have these things called food courts, which is where you have a lot of stalls, you get very cheap, good food, and you sit down, you eat, and then the cleaners who come clean up just basically takes away...
Basically like a public canteen.
Yeah, it also takes away your responsibility of cleaning up your stuff. And a lot of people who are hired to be these cleaners tend to be people who find it hard to get jobs elsewhere because of, I don't know, records or disabilities, something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're too old to get hired or anything else. It's just one of those things which happens. And this is enough setup to talk about what happened. There was a woman who was eating, and this man came to clean up her plate. She didn't want the plate to be cleaned away. The man took it. And then she went on to verbally berate this man and call him a whole series of unpleasant things.
Oh yeah, it was really unpleasant. Like, I don't remember much of what I saw in the video, but basically she just told him like, go be a beggar or something.
Yeah, you should be a beggar, or... This is truly horrible things.
She was just freaking out. Like, she was just going absolutely ballistic, and the poor guy was just standing there, like, with his hand like this.
Turns out later that he's deaf.
Yeah, he's deaf.
So he had no idea what was going on. He just saw this angry woman shouting at him. Didn't know what was going on. And now the poor man is leaving his job because I guess he's traumatized. And
he's not losing his job. I mean,
he's not losing, he's leaving.
Yeah, he's leaving.
That
for
was
like
me
months.
misspeaking, I apologize.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, and it's so sad. And now, like, because all the netizens online are like just harassing her online, right?
Pretty much, it's another Justine Sacco incident. It's like, person A spots person B. Person A tells Twitterverse, person B is piece of shit. Twitterverse says, yes, person B is piece of shit, we're going to attack person B for being a piece of shit. And so now person B, she is deciding to threaten to sue netizens.
Obviously, she does not use the internet that much.
She doesn't understand how anything works.
You don't try and sue the internet. It is a deep, deep, dark place where fun things happen. Fun things. Though, but I do kind of want to make a counter argument. Like, people are judging her entire character based on this one incident. And while I agree, yeah, you're kind of a piece of shit for doing that. But I don't want to assume that she is a terrible person. Like, I think she was trying to prove it in another article where she was like, yeah, I do love these grassroots things and all that.
Oh yeah, that was because an online publication which has mixed views about it. It's called The Independent Singaporean. Claimed that she was a grassroots leader, political grassroots leader, but they tend to kind of assert things which tend to be not necessarily true. But this case, I think it turned out to be true. She is a grassroots.
I don't know. I just have a feeling that she had a really, really shitty day. Like, a ridiculously shitty day. Because I had days like that where I just get really annoyed. Like, I don't scream at random people on the streets, but at home, like, my dad will notice I'm really snappy. So, like, when he talked to me, I'm just like, fuck off.
Yeah, at least you don't take it out on your little puppy.
Yeah, I don't take it out on my dog. I hug him. Like, he calms me down. But
that's good.
It's just... I think she was having a really shitty day, so I guess like her reaction is just because she thinks this is undeserved.
It was out of proportion for sure, and it was horrible the way she treated this person, and it was vile. Although I agree with you, it was probably just a symptom of having a really bad day. And also, it reminds me of, have you read So You've Been Publicly Shamed?
Oh no, is this what?
John Ronson's book.
Never heard of it.
This is a suggestion / plug. Give me money, John Ronson. This is a book called So You've Been Publicly Shamed, written by a British journalist, John Ronson. And he writes about various people who have had their lives ruined by media backlash.
Oh dear.
And one of them is included is Justine Sacco. If you don't remember, this was the woman who was in a PR company, and she was flying to Africa, and she sent a tweet saying, flying to Africa, hope I don't get AIDS, just kidding, I'm white.
Oh my god, yeah, I saw that.
And when she landed, she didn't have a job no more, and was the most hated person on the internet.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean...
And apparently she still can't get a job. She still
can't get a
yeah,
job.
because people, they do background checks, they type in Justine Sacco, her name pops up #1 Google search results. And it was a bad joke. I would argue it wasn't necessarily racist. Okay, maybe it was a bit.
A little bit.
But it was just more a bad joke, not well written. She could have written it in a much better, edgy way, which would make people laugh. Because there are actual comedians who say much worse things, but because they're genuinely funny, they get free right. It was the crime of a bad joke by someone who should know better, I would say.
I don't know. I think it kind of sucks when stuff like this happens. Like, if she can't get a job anymore just because of one comment.
Yeah, and there are plenty of other examples. There's a tech guy who couldn't get a tech job for 5 years because someone snapped him talking to a friend during a presentation by a woman in tech, and it got posted as this kind of thing saying, oh, there's still this big problem where men in tech don't respect women, and so he lost his job and could not, for the love or money, get another job in tech. And I think he's still kind of associated with that. I can't remember the names. It's been about 6 months since I've read the book, so I can't remember. This will probably haunt her for the rest of her life because the internet don't forget. Well, it forgets good things and remembers all the shitty things you've ever done ever. So this will probably haunt her, especially because she's making it worse for herself.
Don't sue the internet. Just don't.
I mean, we do have a libel happy culture here in Singapore, but no, this is not going to make you look good. Like, you already look like the villain here. The best thing for you to do is to just disappear.
Like, even when she tried to apologize, she didn't even sound like she was apologizing.
Yeah, she was kind of like explaining her actions, but not saying, I apologize for this particular thing. And it's like, well, you need to apologize for...
Like, I can understand if you had a shitty day. I can, but I still
Everyone
think she
has
needs
shitty
to... Yeah, she still needs to apologize because that man didn't deserve getting yelled at.
Absolutely not. And
He was just trying to do his job.
yeah, and I do feel really sorry for these men sometimes, especially the ones who, they can't talk, or you can tell that there's something wrong with them. And it's just because people leave these coffee shops and food courts in terrible states a lot of the time, and they have to do all the cleaning up. Like, they genuinely look unhappy all the time.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think like she is a horrible person, or do you think it's just a one-off thing where she had a really bad day?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't going on anytime soon, so people are going to talk about it. So, yeah, I guess that's it.
That's it.
And, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Laters.